My name is Jessica.
And how long were you in the military for?
A total of 8 years.
8 years. Okay, so you're considered a veteran, correct?
Yes, I am.
Did you ever battle with PTSD?
I did when I came back after spending a year in Iraq.
So you were a year in Iraq, and then after that you had battles with PTSD.
Yes.
Did you take any therapy, or how did you cope with the PTSD at the time?
Well, it was kind of hard because a little bit of the background, we were actually in Korea when we came up on deployment orders for Iraq. Korea is already considered a hardship tour. It's 12 months away from your family. So it had been 53 years since troops had deployed from Korea to another overseas assignment like that. So essentially I was making history, but I was not only having to go home and tell my family and my children that now I'm going to have to be away another 12 months, and we didn't have orders. So you have all these people that are already, several different months away from their family are now being stop-lossed and being told that now we're going to go spend a year in Iraq, which is not in a war environment anymore, but still being attacked.
Okay. And how did you overcome the PTSD, or are you still battling with it currently today?
No, I never overcame PTSD. When we deployed to Iraq from Korea, we didn't go back to Korea. So they transitioned us from Iraq to Colorado. Colorado was not prepared for us. They had a whole brigade to come to Colorado, and at the time they didn't understand what was going on with us, and realizing that so many of us were going to suffer from PTSD and didn't have the resources nor the help to help us with PTSD. So it was a struggle. At the time, I was bouncing back and forth between prescriptions when you could see a psychiatrist. And it was very hard and very frustrating because I wasn't doing very well with the prescriptions, with the medication. I'm very sensitive to a lot of things. I'm allergic to everything under the sun, whether it be medication, non-medication, whatnot. So it finally got to the point that I took myself off of it and had managed to cope with PTSD on my own because Colorado just didn't have the help that we needed. And unfortunately, others did the same thing, but others didn't have the outcome that I had.
Okay. And do you feel like as of today, presently, or maybe in the past, I know the VA is involved a lot with veterans. Do you feel like they help nowadays, the veterans who go through PTSD or any type of disability or anything like that?
For me, luckily they have. My story is unique. I was diagnosed PTSD with the military, but then 8 years ago my daughter was killed. So I got the diagnosis of complex PTSD with anxiety and depression. So my PTSD goes further. So my medication regimen, I had to go on medication. So battling PTSD is a whole new thing on my own, but I still go through the VA. And the VA was actually a very big help with me because there's processes that you have to go through being a veteran. For me, when she was killed, I had to actually, even though I can be seen in Oakwood, they wanted me to drive to Atlanta to have a consult to be seen in Oakwood. Luckily, there was some ladies that were secretaries there that are still there to this day that I love dearly that stood up and fought for me. They're like, she can barely drive to Oakwood. She's not going to drive to Atlanta to be seen. This has been 6 months. She needs to be seen. So everybody stood together and kind of fought for me, and the clinic saw me right away there. And 8 years later, I am still being seen through them.
Awesome.
Yes.
And do you have any words of encouragement for any veterans that are battling with PTSD?
Don't give up. I am one of those that I hate taking medication, but I know I'll take it for the rest of my life. you battle PTSD, it doesn't just go away. It's not going to go away. Just don't give up. I'm a strong believer in medication. I'm a strong believer in therapy. I'm actually going to be a therapist, so my goal is to encourage people with PTSD to don't give up and fight it and get help and not to give up.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.